What's up, everyone? Adrian Morrison here. I want to welcome you to the Profit Power Hour. I'm excited to have you here, and to be quite honest, I'm just really excited to be back on this webinar this week. I'm back in Alice Beach, my home in the North Panhandle of Florida. I don't have all my stuff set up yet. I just kind of moved some stuff around this office to see if my webcam is blurry or not on this laptop. Yeah, it's not that great quality. Yeah, like right now, so you can see, like, you might recognize the setting, but I just moved like a bunch of stuff in, got art and stuff everywhere. Nothing's on my desk. My desk is really wobbly right now. I gotta fix it. So, if you see the camera shaking or anything like that, it's just because the desk, the casters, I have to fix them. Yeah, so look, last week I missed our webinar. This year seems to be a trend. I've gotten sick a lot this year. I don't know why. I'm super healthy, but I do have a 3-year-old, so I hear that having a kid, you pick up stuff a bit more. I hated to miss last week because it was the webinar after Black Friday. So, we're a little behind. I need to go over some things with you that, I typically hit the week after Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Last night, my whole body broke out in hives. I had an allergic reaction to something I ate. So like at 2 in the morning, I'm like itching everywhere, like scalp and ears and body, and I like high on Benadryl all day because of the allergic reaction. But I'm fine. It just, look, life is there's ebbs and flows, right? There's ups and downs. I can't complain. My life is incredible, but I keep getting sick. Like last week, I had 102-degree fever for 3 days straight. It was just like a constant fever. I haven't had a fever in over a decade, so like, damn, I don't know what the hell is going on, you know what I'm saying? But like my blood work shows I'm all good. Probably just picking up stuff, living in Miami. It's a big city, and having a kid. But I want to start out this webinar by, making that point, not just about health, but, life in general, be it health, family, emotions. There's ups and downs. We have like different seasons in life. And even if you're making a bunch of money, you could be having a bad season in life. And if you're not making a bunch of money, you could be having an incredible season in life, because it's not really all about money. Money is great. Money does fix a lot of things. I'm not going to lie. People say that, money can't fix problems. It actually can. It can fix a lot of problems. And money can't make you happy. No, it can. It can make you happy. But happiness is not defined by money. Because with money comes a lot more stress, a lot more expectations, bigger goals, so on and so forth, and so I say that to say that I have a lot of friends that are very, very successful, and yet, they have these down periods, and I have a lot of friends that are not ultra successful that have down periods, but have these great up periods where they're on like this come up, and you got to lean into it when you're on the come up. And so if you're having in a bad spot, being emotionally, friends, family, whatever, health, you'll pop out of it. It's a season. It'll pass by. There's the next season's around the corner, and you just got to lean into that, right? And use momentum while you have momentum. And that's what this past 2 weeks was all about, and the rest of this month is going to be about, is momentum. Right now, be it in life, things are going good, bad, whatever. Everybody has access to momentum right now. It's the holiday season. People are buying to buy. Even myself, like I don't really shop online that much. I don't buy a bunch of stuff. Like I do a few purchases a year that are generally bigger. Like I buy myself a watch because I'm a watch collector, a piece of art, you know, maybe a piece of property, some real estate. I'm not really a, oh, let me shop online and buy a bunch of shit that I don't need type of guy. But during the holiday season and Black Friday, Cyber Monday, like even when I was sick with 102-degree fever, which sucked because I should have been working and, you know, running my business during Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Thank God I have a great team. Um, I was shopping. Like I was like, ooh, I go to uncrate.com, great website, and I'm just buying random shit. Like for me, you know, oh, this looks cool. Oh, this is 30% off, 40% off. I'll buy this. I'll buy that. Um, I mean, and they're big purchases and small purchases. So everybody is shopping right now, right? Be it a big budget or a low budget, they're shopping. And this week, like Shopify had record-breaking numbers. I'm going to go over these numbers with you because they publish their Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales every year, very, very shortly after Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Let me just pull these up real quick. So if you go to shopify.com/news, you can see their 2025 Black Friday, Cyber Monday data. I'm going to hit this with you real quick so you can catch on to some trends. And there's still a lot of momentum that we're going to have here that we could lean into. Like a lot of people say that, hey, it's over, Black Friday's over. So like e-commerce right now is on a downward trend. That's not true. There is a trick. It's a sneaky little timeline that we're in right now where most people stop. And if you lean in and push forward, you have less competition with all the same consumer buying power that was there 2 weeks ago. And I'm going to show you why on this webinar, how you can lean into that, even if you're a noob. So over the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, BFCM, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Shopify merchants did $14.6 billion in sales, y'all. That's just absolutely bonkers. It's crazy. And I haven't looked at this report yet. I've just been so sick. I'm just going to review it with you. So this will all be semi-news to me. I mean, I've seen Harley, he's the president of Shopify, talking about it on his stories and on the news and stuff. But they broke their records. It's 27%. Wow, up 27% from last year. Look, I'm not good at math, but when we're in the billions and you start talking about a 27% increase, we're talking about a boatload of extra money that was spent on Black Friday, Cyber Monday on Shopify merchants' websites, right? So we can see all sale banners lit up and products sold out. 1 million customers generated in 4 days around the world, which is insane. Shopify merchants, congruently and as a conglomerate, we're doing $5.1 million per minute. I meant not congruently, but as a conglomerate, everybody doing $5.1 million of sales a minute, boom, boom, every minute. $5 million. And here are the highlights that they usually give. This is what I was looking for. 81 million consumers shopped on Shopify stores. This is a really beautiful stat right here. 15, and I'll make this bigger. Let me see if I can make this bigger for you. There we go. 15,800 entrepreneurs made their first sale. So over the 4 days of Black Friday, Cyber Monday, I want y'all to think about this. 15,800, that is a lot of people got their first sale on their Shopify store. And I hope that some of y'all are on this webinar because I told you a couple of weeks ago that you're going to get your first sale over it's inevitable. Someone's going to get their first sale over Black Friday, Cyber Monday, because people are just buying, they're spending, they're buying stuff to buy stuff because they think they should buy stuff because it's the season to buy stuff. And for whatever reason, we just feel like we should be buying stuff right now. All right, 94,900 merchants had their highest selling day ever. I remember my first Black Friday, Cyber Monday. It's an older store than I had. I streamed my sales. Like I figured out this way to like stream my sales on my fan page on Facebook, back when they were called fan pages, and people could watch my sales in real time. And I hit a record-breaking day. It was just like, it was crazy. I can't remember how much it was. It was like 40 grand or something in a day, selling like dropship products. It was just so cool. Like, I mean, people have record-breaking days on Black Friday, Cyber Mondays, because so many people are just shopping, and they're shopping and spending a lot of money. The average cart price was $114, which is about $2 higher than last year. So $2 is a big change when you're talking about volume numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of volume, $2 adds up. So 15,800 people had their very first sale. They had that awareness, that aha moment that was, oh shit, this does work. Oh, snap. Like I might actually be able to turn this into a real thing here. Not a plaything, but a real thing, you know? And that, I can't tell you how important that moment is, where you hear that cha-ching, you see that notification come up on your phone, your email, on your laptop or desktop. Shopify pops up little sales notifications. That's the moment, like, of excitement that can never be replicated. It will never be replicated in your business unless you start a whole nother business, right? That first sale is when you realize the work that you put in might actually pay off. So, you know, my hat off to you all that got your first sale. This isn't as important to us because it's quite expected, because they're very densely populated areas, but top selling cities: LA, NY, London, San Fran, Miami. Peak sales per minute, 5 million bucks. And some other ones, 39% year-over-year increase in sales made by ShopPay. If you don't know what ShopPay is, it's incredible. It's a button that is on all Shopify stores if you wish to have it there. And it saves people's credit card information, all the stuff. So when someone gets to your checkout, they don't have to put in their credit card information. They can just hit pay with ShopPay, and it'll process it, has their address already logged in, everything. And it tracks everything for the customers. I love ShopPay. When I see stores, which is most of them, using ShopPay, I'm like, oh, thank God. Like, because I don't have my credit card in my pocket right now, you know? I wouldn't be able to make this purchase at this moment if ShopPay wasn't there with my information saved, because I'm in the bed and it's like midnight or something, and I'm not going to go get out of bed and go get my wallet, and my wife's asleep, and get a light and see my credit card number and stuff. So ShopPay is a lifesaver, and 39% year-over-year increase in sales made via ShopPay is huge. That means more and more people are adapting it, like I have. 136 million packages were tracked on the Shop app. There were way more than that were obviously sent out, but the Shop app is tracking things, you know, through ShopPay. So let's see if there's anything else. Independent businesses take center stage. Millions of consumers voted with their wallets choosing independent businesses this holiday. This result speaks volumes, meaning people are buying from, you know, smaller stores, dropship stores, independent businesses, mom and pop style businesses. They're not doing like these big, like Sephora.com and stuff like that. They're actually, you know, supporting these smaller businesses, which is really, really cool. So yeah, that's the numbers. You can go check out the report. It was really cool. They leased out or rented out space on the big globe thing in Las Vegas, and you could see sales all over the world shooting the dome thing in Las Vegas. I'm sure there's a YouTube video of sorts with it, so that you can go watch. So now is the time. These numbers are incredible, but currently what's happening is it is the 9th of December. people are concerned about shipping times now. Most Shopify merchants are very concerned about how long it's going to take to ship items to their um, customers, right? And this is a video that I did last week. Since I'm in disarray, I had movers come in and get all this new furniture in my office today, so I don't have everything hooked up. I'm going to show you the same graph that I pretty much have drawn the last 3 years from one of my YouTube videos around this time last year. And I want to go over a little bit like, you know, what's happening here, like what's the deal currently. Let me see if I can get this into like a theater mode. There we go. All right, so can everybody see this graph? I know there's a little bit of inception now because you can see me in a black jacket and hat. This is an old video, but I draw the same graph that I would have drawn tonight. So look, right now, what happens is people stop selling on Shopify because a lot of them are using, or not Shopify, but drop shippers stop selling because they're using vendors like AliExpress, I should say more like CJ drop shipping, and they ship, you know, within 10 days usually, you know, decently fast shipping these days with China, in some cases, and in many cases not. You got to find the right vendor, right? And so a lot of people just simply stop selling that are drop shipping products from China, and they're worried, and they should be worried, because at this point, Christmas is in 16 days. I mean, people want to get their gifts. They want to wrap them. They want to put them under the tree. You know, they don't want to wrap the gifts 2 days before Christmas and put them under the tree. So a lot of Shopify sellers doing drop shipping, they shut their business down for like the next 2 weeks. Like they just stop selling because they're worried about refunds. They're worried that if they get a bunch of sales, that they're not going to be able to facilitate those by Christmas. In most cases, they cannot, and thus they want to avoid refunds and chargebacks, which will ruin your business. You don't want that. And so they shut down, and some of them are stupid. Some people are just dumbasses, you know, and they're greedy. And so those people say, screw it, I'd rather ask for forgiveness. And I'm going to continue selling because I'm making $1,000 a day right now, or $3,000 a day, or $500 a day, or maybe it's 10 grand a day. You know, it doesn't matter what the number is. It's so hard to hit pause. Like, your ads are running, sales are coming in, the money's stacking up, and you know that it's not going to make, if it's from China, it's probably not going to make it by the holiday. But like, you have to make the conscious decision to hit stop and pause, and, you know, stop selling things to avoid refunds and just royally screwing up people's Christmas holiday or whatever it is they might celebrate. And that's hard because for 2 weeks, you know, if you're doing $1,000 a day, we're talking about roughly $30,000 that you're giving up. If you're doing more than that, it could be 100 grand, it could be 200 grand, it could be 5 grand, right? Different amounts of money mean different things to different people based off of their different financial situations. Either way, it's hard to turn it off. I've been there, okay? But I turn it off. And then I started thinking to myself, what if I just simply start announcing a holiday cutoff on my store pages? So I would go into Shopify, and I would have my VAs do it, but essentially I would come over here to products, and on all my product pages, which there's an app that's called like, to be honest, like, I don't even do this anymore. My team handles everything. Like, I'm very rarely in a Shopify CRM screwing around. That's why I have all my VAs that I'm like, hey, go put all the announcements on this page, da 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 da. But pretty sure we use an app. It's an OG app called Bulk Fulfill or Bulk Edit, and it will just like put it on every product page really quickly. But regardless, you know, we would come in here and at the tip top of the page in red letters in bold, you know, like notice this item will not arrive by Christmas. Or you can put likely not arrive by Christmas. And then I'll change the color to like red. And then again, to be really, really safe, because a lot of people are, you know, they don't read, I'll put it toward the bottom as well. On the exact product. Now, I know some people would say, okay, Adrian, why don't you just put a banner at the top of your page that says no orders past X date that would be up here will arrive by Christmas. You know, no orders past X date will arrive by Christmas. Okay. The reason that I don't do that, well, I'm sorry, we do that, but the reason that's not the only thing that we do is put a banner up here using a banner app or some custom coding, is simply because a lot of people, there's so many things all over the store, they may not even be reading what's up here. Believe it or not, even if it's in red, they might not read it. So I want it up here, and I want it right here. See where it says notice this will not likely arrive by Christmas, and it shows it down here. So that way I have it on each product page. And you know, we can add, I'm on a custom theme, so I can edit it up here too. But like, I want it everywhere. So when people do buy stuff from our stores, they have notice. And there's so many people that don't care if it'll arrive by Christmas because they're just shopping for themselves. They're in the shopping mood. And that's my next point. So point number one is you want to prep your store, okay? If you're just doing China drop shipping, to just tell people, hey, this product's not going to arrive by Christmas. There's no need for you to stop selling. You just need to give people notice. And then if people complain and support, you can say, hey, look, here's a screenshot of our page. Here's the banner we had at the top. We had every product, gave plenty of notice in bold red letters that it's not going to arrive by Christmas. So that's just simply not on us. You know, that's on you. It's your responsibility to read. And so that's number one. Number two is just using vendors like we've already hooked you up with, like Zendrop. Zendrop is obviously a phenomenal app. And the products that, you know, they sell, you can get them from China, but you can also get them shipped straight from the US. So like this product has an 8-day time. So right now, you know, you would still be in the green to be selling this product and it would arrive. But I would still have the notice there that, you know, any orders past X date or, you know, past the whatever 12th may not arrive by Christmas. So you can keep selling, but you're giving people notice. And the other thing is ShineOn. I'm just going to save on that. Which we've introduced you all to, is ShineOn. It's like the coolest Shopify store app, in my opinion. But their stuff is incredible and it ships so fast, okay? But some of their products, like these woven blankets, say their Christmas delivery deadline is 12/9. I love that they tell us this. And they have this little blog here for last minute holiday sales tips. I would highly recommend getting ShineOn. It's a free app. You can get it through the link that I have right here, profitph.com/shine. That's our partner link with them, but it also gives you a bunch of cool free done for you products and stuff like that. So profitph.com/shine. It's free to use ShineOn. It's free to start with them. But yeah, Michael, he is just such a cool dude. So smart, and he gives great tips for the holidays. Highly advise like watching anything he produces. He is a genius seller. Started out as a seller and now, you know, is, you know, He's worked his way up to holding equity in ShineOn. It's just crazy. So anyways, their stuff is really cool. It ships really, really fast. Okay. Super, super fast. And some of it legit will ship within a couple of days. So like these necklaces here, ships within 2 to 3 business days, y'all. So you could be selling these products, which crush, by the way, with very, very high margins, profit margins built in. These products you could be selling up to probably the 15th, the 17th safely. They would be giving you, they would advise you if it wasn't safe, right? So you could be selling and leaning in to all the shopping that's still happening. And so going back to this graph here where I was teaching last year, I just want to, I'm just going to show you the graph like in full. I'm just going to fast forward, okay? So generally what happens with most Shopify drop shippers is their sales volume goes about like this. Starting November 29th, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, things tend to peak, like they just skyrocket. And then after Black Friday, Cyber Monday, sales on stores start to decline because they're pull their marketing back. There is a lull after Black Friday, Cyber Monday. It's just, these days now it's like Cyber Week and Cyber Month, but there's a little bit of a lull, and then their store sales tend to crash, especially up to about Christmas Day, and it's kind of come stagnant until the new year, right? And then there are people that just literally shut everything down, and that's the red here, and they just after the 15th they're like, okay, I'm not selling anything else because it's not going to arrive by Christmas, so I'm just going to lose 10 days of revenue. I'm going to basically turn the machine off, and not take any chances. That's smart, but it's all, if you just put the notifications all over your store saying this won't arrive by Christmas, won't arrive by Christmas, you can still generate sales. You don't have to cut everything off. All right. So here's basically what happens. All right. So December 15th through the 25th, I've always kind of labeled as the danger zone. Okay. So I've labeled it as the danger zone. And that's, right here, December 15th through the 25th, because that's when stuff probably is not going to make it in time, with China drop shipping. And even unless you're using ShineOn, with Zendrop, you're looking at 8 days, ShineOn 2 to 3 days for it to ship. So people just, they shut everything down. Those are the uneducated people. The people in the red with the circle, those are the people that are uneducated. They made some sales, but they're scared, and they are giving into the fear of selling through the 15th through the 25th because they don't want to get any refunds or people not to get their gifts. I respect these people because they're doing the right thing when it comes to morals and ethics, but they're just not using their brain. If they were using their brain and had a mentor to tell them something that should really be common sense, but believe me, common sense isn't that common, they wouldn't have to do that. The semi-educated people, they ramp things down a little bit, and they keep selling. It goes from this massive peak to about 50-60% of what it was, and it trends down little by little by little, until January 1st, and they really ramp back up and sales start again. The people that are educated, that know what they're doing, their sales are still going to drop, by roughly 50% after Black Friday, Cyber Monday, because those are just like, that weekend is just like crazy. But 50% of that is still higher than the year-round average anyways, because people are shopping for the holidays still. They're last-minute Christmas shoppers. So the educated people's sales, instead of continuing to plummet at about 50%, and this is hypothetically guessing, like just based off of experience, will drop, but then they will start to plane out at still a really nice, healthy level. And then the day after Christmas, not January 1st, but the day after Christmas, they will skyrocket again. They will skyrocket up, not back to Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales, but they will skyrocket to, you know, a higher percentage than where they're currently at. And why do I say that? Why are these people like educated? Well, we're going to go over this next week, or maybe the next. But there's a series of the strategy where you can implement a series of sales that are like post-Christmas holiday sales, because a lot of people get cash and gift cards and stuff like that for Christmas. So people rush to go shop. We'll be talking about that. The semi-educated people are not people that do promotions and stuff. They just put the notifications on their store. So their sales keep going down because there are a lot of Christmas shoppers that are like, oh, I'm not going to buy anything because it's not going to arrive by Christmas. But then there's the people that are, you know, they're just going to say, I want to buy this for myself, and I'll wait. I don't need it by Christmas. So you don't want to be red. It's okay if you're green, but if you follow what I'm going to teach you over the next 2 weeks, then you could be up here in the purple. This is honestly, it's kind of like a bullshit graph that I just kind of made up based off of like my brain and experience. These aren't like actual, like you're not, I can't say that, hey, like you're going to be right here, whatever this number is, right? This is just kind of to help you visualize generally what happens is people plummet, people, they spike then plummet, or spike then drop 50 to 70% because they quit pushing. And then there's people that spike and they see that post Black Friday, Cyber Monday drop, but they're able to stabilize it to some consistent sales and then pop off again after Christmas, right? So we want you to be in the purple, or at the very least the green, not the red. We want you to be able to capitalize of all the shopping that's still going to happen between the 9th and Christmas. And I'm going to show you how to do that. First off, first things first, put these notifications on your store and make sure that you use apps like Zendrop, American shipping, like US shipping, and ShineOn. Like ShineOn is one of the best places right now, profitph.com/shine, to launch stuff. They have incredible holiday gifts, and they ship within 2 to 3 days. This you can keep pushing. While everybody else is pulling back, you can lean in. And that's the time. It's like people say in the stock market, you know, when everybody's selling, buy into the fear, you know, that's when the people, smart people actually buy, is when everybody's selling. I'm not a stock trader. I'm not like, that's not financial advice. That's just what I've seen smart people say. And with e-com, it's kind of the same. When everybody's pulling back, you can lean in if you know what you're doing and you're set up the right way. And that's what I want to show you how to do, okay? So make sure that you're here next week so we can push through this incredible holiday season, this holiday sales rush. If you're new, welcome to the webinar. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next week right here, same place, same time. Hopefully I won't be sick again. Jesus, please, please don't make me sick for like the 15th time this year. And I'll see you Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, okay? That's it. Good night, y'all.